Hello and welcome to today's Brenau University webinar. Thank you everybody for joining us today. The topic is your online dream team. It is all about the support staff that's going to be with you throughout your online degree program at Brenau. We appreciate you attending us. So let's quickly go over the agenda for today. Again, the topic is your online dream team. And so we're actually going to meet a couple members of the Brenau Online support team. They're going to explain their roles as well as the roles of other team members who are going to support you on your journey toward your Brenau degree online. And you're going to have a chance to get answers to your questions. There's a Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen at any time during the presentation today. You're welcome to click on that and type in a question for us. You don't have to wait until the Q&A section at the end to submit your question. Just anytime you see something that you're curious about, you want to learn more about, go ahead and use that Q&A function that's right there. With that, I'm going to introduce our two speakers today. We've got Shay Lamson and Amanda Mazer, two great members of our Brenau Success team. Shay is an enrollment manager. She has about 13 total years experience in higher ed. And in addition to her higher ed experience and helping students in that way, she has a lot of teaching experience as well. She's taught dance, she's taught special ed, she's taught in the 3rd grade. So lots of varied educational experience helping lots of different types of learners. And so she is a great person to have in that role. So Shay, glad to have you here. And Amanda Mazer, our success coach manager at Brenau University. If you've never heard of a success coach before, you'll find out what that means here a little bit later. 10 plus years in higher ed for Amanda. She also has her master's degree in adult education and training. So she is particularly helpful for adult students, people who are coming back to school after some time. That's really her forte. So she is in a great role to do that. Another thing I want to point out is that both of these women, in addition to their professional experience in higher education, have also earned degrees as online students. And so not only can they speak professionally to your situation, they can relate to you personally. They can have empathy for the types of questions and the types of things that you will go through throughout your Brenau Online journey. And that's the case of many, many members of the Brenau Online support team that you are going to learn about today. So with that, I am going to kick it to Shay to get us started to talk about her role as an enrollment coach. So Shay.
Hi, thank you so much. So everyone, thank you for coming. We appreciate you joining us and learning a little bit more about what we do and how we support you through a really lengthy time commitment. As you know, education is a time commitment. It's a financial commitment, and it's not just a commitment for you, but it's a commitment for your families as well. And so what we've done is really tried to structure our support in a way that will help you get to graduation, and not just graduation. We want to help you get started. We want to help you identify the right program. And that's kind of where the enrollment coach comes in. When you call in, you get someone on the phone, and the very first thing that you should feel is a sense of exploration from your coach. We want to know what you want to do. What are you trying to accomplish? What job are you trying to get in the future? What's the ultimate goal? You know, it's funny. I tell my team, nobody goes to school just to go to school. We go to school because we want a job. We want to make more money. We want to support our families. We want to buy the house we've never got to live in, right? And there's all these facets that come into making that decision for school. And what we want to do is find out what they are so that we can connect you with the right program that's going to help you achieve those goals. Now, we have a lot of programs. If you've gone onto our website, you see a whole long list. And so what we do is we try to connect you based on what you've said with the right one. All right. And then kind of let you know what we got to do to get there. And that starts very first thing with getting your application done and your admissions process. Admissions into the university can be a little tricky. There's a lot of forms. There are different things that you might need to get. But one of the most important is starting with your transcripts and getting your application on file. And so they will break it down, let you know every step of the process, really smooth it out for you. And the goal is that this is a minimal time frame in your week, right? We're making it as simple as we can in a complex environment, because it is a little bit complex to get into school. There's forms, your deadlines, there's all sorts of fun stuff. we'll take it even a step further for you and help you outline how you're going to pay for your schooling and what you might need together as far as forms, filling out your FAFSA, if you need additional paperwork. That's our goal. We want to make you connected with the admissions process, give you every update in a timely fashion, work with you to get you to your personal goals, and really hopefully make the process as seamless as we can. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes there's tricky loops and there's international transcripts and fun stuff that we, even as enrollment coach can struggle to try to get around and work through. But we do a lot of research for our students and we care a lot about what you're going to school for. And so we put that time in to help you kind of jive it out and figure out what you got to do. So that's a little bit about the enrollment coach team, but we also have a very particular team, which is our transcript specialist. Now, our transcript specialists help to collect transfer credits for you to finish faster. So if you're an adult learner, if you were anything like me, I was like this. I went to a school in Utah. I went to a school in Arizona. I went to two different schools in Arizona, actually. I went to a school that was a foreign school in Canada. So I had a lot of transcripts kind of spread all over the place. Well, when we go to complete your admissions file, we want to evaluate those credits. Transferring even one class from a school that you've attended previously will save you a tremendous amount of time and money. And as adults, those I think are the number two things we always want, right? We want time and we want money. And so transferring those credits helps us reduce the cost of your program and the time it's going to take to complete your program. Now, financial aid also looks at transcripts that you've attended previously. So what we do at Brenau is we try to collect all transcripts from every school that you've ever attended so that we can reduce the time and cost, right? But also prepare you for maybe additional documents that financial aid might need if you were selected for what's called a C code. And so it kind of deals with two different facets. If you're in one of our lovely education programs, there's even more requirements along the transcripts that you have and what you might need to collect in order to get a license in Georgia. And so Brenau aligns with these different industries to, again, really try to make it smooth for you. Here's the nice thing about getting transcripts. First off, if you're thinking about going to school, get an application, get your transcripts ordered. We're in the middle of a pandemic that has slowed things a little bit for us and getting those transcripts. Schools are closed, high schools are closed, all sorts of fun stuff's happening right now as we adjust to whatever this new norm is, right? But it does take a little bit time to get. And they can be a little bit tricky. You might have applied to a school previously and not really attended, so maybe you need to get a letter from the school. And we try to do our best to, one, order them for you anytime that we can. And as a courtesy to our students, we like you guys a lot, so we pay for the transcript. Anytime that we can, we try to pay for those transcripts. The second thing we do is if we can't pay for the transcript, we attempt to reimburse you for the transcript. The only thing that we can't pay for or reimburse is international transcript evaluations. That's one that's a little bit tricky, but we try to connect you with the right institution that will allow you to get to where you want to go. Okay, whether it be teaching license, accounting, there's different requirements. And so we do want you to have those right institutes, if you will, that can look at those transfer credits. Keep in mind, your enrollment coaches will probably tell you this, but feel free to mention it, right? If you're ordering your transcripts and you have what's called a student order only, or you have to have responsibility for collecting that transcript, we'll reimburse you the transcript. Even if you rush order it, we will reimburse it, right? It can take anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to get transcripts, depending on where we're ordering them from. And so we'll often work with you. We'll call you, get you on the phone, walk you through it, give you instructions. I mean, we'll even share screens for you if you need to kind of make that a little bit simpler. But it is a little bit complicated and it does take some time. So anyone who wants to go, that's one of your first things that you want to get done. All right. Now, after your transcripts have been ordered, after you've finished all of your admissions documents, the number one question we get from students is financial aid, right? Who helps me with my financial aid and which department is going to package me? How do I get my funding? So what we have here is an entire department that's dedicated to you as a student. You don't have an individual person. However, you will often work with someone. If you're an undergrad, you may have an undergrad financial aid advisor. If you're a graduate, you might have a graduate financial aid advisor. But we have 8 full-time staff that support our graduate and transfer students, which is pretty nice for you. We also have a policy that if you just want to call and you want to talk to someone, they will get back to you on a personal basis, and you're welcome to set up appointments with them as well. If you're like most of us, we're working full time, right? Kids all over the place, and we've got odd hours. We try to do our best to really align with you and get you connected to the financial aid department. Now, what they can do is they are going to offer some advice. They're going to talk to you about your borrowing options. We really love smart borrowing here, which means you're just kind of doing it the right way, right? Not taking out too many loans, but enough to cover your schooling. We talk about money management and how to guide you through repayment if you need to. But then we also help you make sure that you have all the documents for FAFSA. And FAFSA consists of multiple steps. You have your FAFSA for the right aid year, and you can fill out a couple of aid years at one time. Then you have your MPN, your entrance counseling, and then you also have something called verification, which is a random selection that happens to students. And your enrollment coaches can guide you to how and where to complete those documents, but the financial aid department will explain those documents, and they'll work with you to make sure that what you have submitted suffices the financial aid requirement so that you as a student can get your financial aid. Financial aid is an interesting beast, if you will. If you went to school way back when, like I did, you used to get financial aid money right up front. It's not like that anymore. You go through the steps, you complete all of the documents, the necessary documents, and then what they want to see is that you have registered for classes so that they can certify you based on how many classes you're attending. So you often do not see any money before you start school. What you're going to see is probably about a month into school is when you're packaged and you finally receive what's called access funding, if you have access funding, or that financial aid comes onto your account. Now, it's important to know you aren't going to have that right up front in most cases if you're using financial aid. But as a team and as a very compassionate institution, we really love to be able to support you. And so if you do need help with books, if you need assistance in those in kind of that upfront cost, we can kind of help out. We can do some things to really get you in a good position with it. So the good news is financial aid is really fast at getting you all your documents collected. As long as your documents are collected and we don't have any glaring issues or C codes, if you're not, a convicted felon, drug felon, something like that, typically you are qualified for your financial aid loans. Okay, so it's a pretty easy formula, and we can kind of get a good glance whether you are sitting in a good position or maybe you need to get an additional document. But we often don't see people denied if you aren't unless you're making about $1 million, and if you are, I'm not sure why you're using financial aid or having a drug conviction, right? Those two things can kind of get in the way, but we will have those discussions with you, and the financial aid department will as well. So if you have any questions or concerns about your eligibility, they can go over those parameters with you and help you really identify what will and what won't qualify you or disqualify you for your funding. And if you are and you're in good standing, I want you to sit back and take a deep breath and relax, because I know it's most stressful for students, but we've got your back. We're here for you, and we're here to advise you as best as we possibly can. Now, I want to take a brief minute and just flash on the screen, David, if you will, the contact information for our financial department. I love our department. Call, leave a message, email. Please keep in mind, it is our busiest time of year. August is very traditional start, and we got a lot going on. So the best thing you can do is work with your enrollment coach to have all documents in place. We're right now in the process of packaging and getting everything sent over to financial aid to cut checks for the fall. So we're kind of in the middle of that. The key thing you guys all want to work towards doing is accepting your award. Okay, so once you're packaged, once we've done what we need to, you will need to still accept your award. That's a really vital point. You can't get any money if you don't do it. So they cut you kind of the number of what you might qualify for and then tell you, hey, do you want to accept this or not? And you have a choice to say, yes, I want to accept, or I don't want to accept. But that acceptance is really important. So if you haven't taken down this information, I suggest you take it, have it with you. They're wonderful. They do a really great job at getting back to you. And if you're feeling like any pieces are missing, your enrollment coaches can absolutely step in as well.
And Shay, just as a heads up, I have put that information in the chat as well. So you're welcome to copy paste it out of the chat so you can access that or do a screen grab or whatever it is, multiple places for you to get that information.
Excellent, excellent. So this is all done kind of on the front end, right, guys? We've talked about how to get in, how to order your transcripts, how to collect all your documents for financial aid. We do something also to support our students on the back end, and we have several different resources, but one of my favorite is our success coaches. And from here, we actually have our success coach, Amanda Mazer. She works with our team and all students that begin an adult program with us. And so I'm going to turn it over to her and let her explain some of these resources for you.
Thanks, Shay. Good afternoon. So as Dave said, I manage the Success Coach team here at Brenau, and your Success Coach is really going to be here to cheer you on from day one to graduation. So we step in right as you've been admitted to the university. We'll start calling you, so you can expect us to start reaching out to introduce ourselves and go over our role here with you. And we also serve as your lean-on go-to person here at the university. I like to say we're a good main point of contact for you. Anything you need help with, please feel free to reach out to us. Even if we don't have the answer for you, we can always get you to the right department or get you the resources that you're looking for. We help with things like time management, support, and resources. We're also going to be reaching out to you regularly, so you can expect that we'll be reaching out to you weekly or bi-weekly, depending on how you're feeling and what kind of level of support you'd like from us. So you'll definitely be forming a good relationship with your success coach, and we'll be here to help with anything you need. You're also going to have a faculty advisor. And like your success coach, your faculty advisor is also going to be here to guide you through your program. We work heavily together. The faculty advisors are program experts that help you map out your courses and stay on track for graduation. They also can provide additional knowledge and support. They are going to be program experts. So depending on what program you choose, you'll have a faculty advisor that's a faculty member of that specific program. So they have a lot more academic knowledge. In addition to that, we have a lot of resources here at the university to help you along your journey. We have several forms of online tutoring available for free to our students. These include the Math Spa, Smart Thinking, and the Writing Center. The Math Spa and Smart Thinking are both provide assistance with math. They're a little bit different. The Smart Thinking is available 24/7. It can be accessed from your Canvas, and you can have drop-in or make appointments. The Math Spa is available for additional support, and that's by appointment. The Writing Center is really neat. It provides resources and assistance with writing assignments. So you're actually able to submit different writing assignments, and they will provide you with tips and things that they feel like you can change in that writing assignment to make it better. So really helpful. And again, you know, if you don't remember all of this, lean on your success coach. If you're having trouble with math or writing and you don't remember how to get in touch with them, the writing center or the math spa, give us a call and we'll get you over to them. Next, we also have a Center for Health and Wellbeing. This helps you manage your physical, mental, and emotional needs. We have both, they have both a clinic and counseling services set up. So the clinic is available for all of our students, and the counseling services help with things like different changes you might go through becoming a student. They've got both group counseling and individual counseling available to you. And lastly, I wanted to let you know, one of my favorite resources is our career services. I absolutely love this resource and I encourage all students to take advantage of it. Career Services offers assistance with things like career planning, choosing a major, planning for graduate school. And they also offer resume critiques, mock interviews, and interview preparation. So if you have a big interview coming up, I know updating a resume is never something that's fun. They can help you with formatting and things like that, and even give you tips and tricks for your interview. They've got a whole bunch of things that they do over there, even some good job search tools. So I highly encourage you to reach out to Crystal if you want additional support with that.
All right, awesome. So thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Shay, for everything you shared so far. We're just about ready to start a Q&A portion. And so if you weren't with us at the beginning, that's perfectly fine. There's a Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen. You can click on that and submit your questions. We've already got a handful of questions already. So thanks to everybody who submitted so far. Just real quick before we start the Q&A, just a reminder that classes are starting soon. We're less than 3 weeks away from the first day of online class at Brenau, August 24th. And so we would love to help you with your specific situation, help connect you with the different members of the Brenau support team who can assist you the most at this moment. And so please give us a call, 888-266-3785, or send us an email, success@ags.brenau.edu. I'm putting that information in the chat as well, so you can have access to that. And so let's turn the time to Q&A. So Shay and Amanda, I've got questions so far for each of you. And so so let's get at it. Amanda, I'm going to start with you. A couple questions about kind of classes and scheduling. So how long do classes last, and are there breaks? So we can probably answer both of those at the same time.
Good question. So the classes typically last 7 weeks. We do have some 14-week classes. Those are usually going to be math and English classes, just because we've found that format is a little bit better, helps students be more successful, so you're not jamming in math in 7 weeks. But for the most part, you can expect 7-week classes. We do have breaks, typically in between classes, and those can vary. Usually there's a 1 to 2 week break in between classes. There is a bigger break for the holidays, and the summer does go back to back. So if that's a little bit confusing to you, don't worry. We're going to be giving you updates in a calendar when you get in, but just know that you will have breaks throughout your time here.
All right, that sounds good. Thanks, Amanda. Shay, this next question is for you. You spent a lot of time talking about financial aid. I'm seeing questions like, how has financial aid changed with COVID-19? Probably a question on a lot of people's minds about what the impact the pandemic has had on financial aid. How would you answer that?
The good news is it hasn't. So financial aid is staying the same. The amounts are set. They really haven't gone up or back. But if you did have a loan that was housed under the government, now student loans can be housed in different places, but if you had one under the government, I do know that they're going into forbearance, or not forbearance, but they're putting them on like a temporary hold, so you're not having to pay them right now. You also, if you do enter into school, once you are an active student, typically your loans can also go into deferment. That's the word I'm looking for, deferment, so that you can go ahead and postpone on making payments while you're in school. But as far as the amounts, your Pell grants, anything like that, that's all the same, and so is the process.
All right, that is great. Man, I'm coming back to you for the next question. You talked about both a success coach and a faculty advisor. And so, same question of just kind of helping explain the difference between those two. So, how would you answer that?
That's a good question. And to be honest, we can overlap a lot. So you aren't going to go wrong probably reaching out to either of us. Success coach is more here to encourage and cheerlead you and get you resources, whereas the faculty advisor is a little bit more focused on scheduling your classes, helping you figure out what classes are coming next, keeping your classes in order. So if you have a prerequisite that you really need to take to move on to other classes, making sure that that schedule is going to be correct for you. And maybe if you're having issues in a certain class, they have a little bit more of an academic focus, whereas the success coaches are more like a jack of all trades, so to speak. We can kind of shoot you in different directions depending on your needs.
Amanda, what was your favorite part of having a coach yourself? Because I know you had one, I had one. What was your favorite part of having a coach?
What I loved about having a coach is that they kept me motivated and kept me on my toes. So one thing I always let students know is we typically can see if you're struggling in class. We have some limited information into if your grade's slipping or if you haven't logged into your classroom in a couple weeks, and we will reach out and encourage you or see what's going on, see if there's anything you need help with. So we reach out to you. We're here absolutely for you to reach out to us as much as you need, but we'll also be reaching out to you to make sure things are running smoothly and checking in to see if you're needing additional resources.
Now, I always joke that I'm like the worst student that anyone could have ever had because I'm super stubborn and, you know, I just want to do what I want to do. But one of the things I loved about a coach is that they live in this world, right? They live in the world of education. They're with the policies and the procedures, and they really do have a heightened level of awareness of what you're doing. So for example, I was one of those dang students that was like, I don't want this course. I don't like it. I want to drop. And if I was using financial aid, they would come in and say, whoa, 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 not so fast, Miss Lamson. We need you to go ahead and stay in because your financial aid, if you drop this class, you could drop below the required financial aid limit. And so I was like, oh, things I'd never even thought of. They would kind of catch, and they would be a little bit of a protector for me as I was going through class. Kind of the same thing I felt when I first got a personal trainer at the gym for the first time ever. I had someone accountable to. And I like that accountability piece. Not everyone can just coast and do everything perfect. Some of us, like myself, need that sometimes extra push to get yourself back in class. When it's stressful and you're tired and you're working a lot, you want to take a break. Sometimes you need that extra motivation, if you will, to kind of, you know, kick you in the behind and get you going again. And that's okay. That's okay. We get it. As adult learners, we're different than the 18-year-old going to school and their whole focus is to figure out the next party and go to school, right? Like that's it. It's a little bit of a different ballgame for adults. And so we've planned accordingly and have our team prepared to support you in a way that you might need as an adult. I love that about success coaches.
That is great, Amanda and Shay. Thanks for that. Seeing a question can come in from Casey. Shay, I'm going to send this one your way. Is there someone that assists veterans with VA benefits? So,
Yes.
Shay, what would you have to say about that one?
Yes. That's my answer is yes, we absolutely do. We do have a department within financial aid. You can access that department straight from the information that we had posted if you just shoot over to the generic place. But we actually have a contact. And Casey, if you'll give me your email address, I'll shoot you over our direct contact for the VA so that you can get with them to see what your benefits are. You do want to always use the VA contact and the financial aid office, though. I will say that because there are different VA benefits. There are different benefits depending on where you're attending, if you're active, if you're a vet, and what type of benefits you get for yourself and for your family. So if you've got any of those questions, we'll get you connected with them. But yeah, go ahead and let's get your email address and we'll go ahead and send that over to you.
All right. And then I am also going to put the I'm also going to put the link to our VA benefits page, the direct page to that.
Perfect.
And then Casey, you can go ahead and put your email in the Q&A, and that way it'll be private. It won't be, public to everybody else out here. If you just put it in the Q&A, then that way we can take that and get you in contact with who you need to handle that. And I see you've done that, so thank you so much, Casey. Amanda, I'm going to go back to you. Obviously, we focused on kind of the online piece of this. I'm seeing a question, is there any in-person interaction with other students and professors? And obviously the answer to that maybe a year ago would be a little bit different than the answer is now. But Amanda, how would you answer that?
That's a good question. And outside of COVID, because I will say things change, we're always, the safety of our students and staff is first and foremost. So traditionally the answer is you never have to. There's no ground campus requirement or in-person face-to-face requirement. But that being said, there are many opportunities for you to participate in ground campus activities or get to know your faculty better. So I've had plenty of students that will want to go take a tour of the school, which I highly recommend. Our campus is so beautiful, and that have set up face-to-face interactions with their faculty advisors, or even gone and met with their instructors on office hours. So that's typically available depending on the instructor and the faculty advisor. Might be a little bit different right now with COVID and some of those restrictions, but there are often opportunities for some face-to-face interaction, but not required. We also do, there is a lot of Zoom too available. So I do see a lot of Zoom interactions with faculty and instructors.
All right, excellent. I think we got time for one or two more questions. Shay, just one real quick for you. What kind of tech support is available? Lots of people learning online, probably new to learning online. And so that's a question that I'm sure is on a lot of people's minds. Talk to us about tech support.
Yeah, we have our Brenau University help desk site, and we've got tech support for everything you could imagine. Financial aid issues, IT issues, password. We even have a little bit of tech support for your cell phone devices, because being online, you can utilize your books on your phone. You can get onto Canvas from your phone. There's a lot of things that you can even do from your mobile device. So we do have tech support for every area that you were attending. But what I usually say is, if in doubt and you don't know who to contact or get in touch with, contact your enrollment coach. They'll get you transferred over, or they'll give you the number that you need pretty quickly. And Sparky, I'm going to get you over that phone number for the generic IT department here. That way we can get that posted as well.
All right. Well, and I believe I found it here as well. Well, so I've got the page. So if you go to that page right there, that's Brenau IT page, and so that'll give you that phone number, hours, but yeah, phone and email support 24/7, and so lots of great resources available there. That link is in the chat. So the last question that I have, and we're basically going to take this to the next slide. The question just is, how do we get in touch with Shay or Amanda or anybody else who can help? And so we're going to put that phone number and email address back up one last time, just as a reminder. The phone number is 888-266-3785, or send us an email at success@ags.brenau.edu. If we go to the next slide, that will have that phone number and email address there again. And so that is the best way to get in touch with Shay, Amanda, or anybody else on this online dream team. All the different roles we've talked about here, your enrollment coach, your success coach can be the conduit to a lot of this information. And again, if there's something that they themselves need some help with as well, they know how to connect you to other folks, other people of this Brenau Online Support Team that we have talked about today. And so that is that. So we are so grateful for all of your attendance here today, for your questions. Hopefully this was a very helpful time spent with you. Shay and Amanda, thank you so much for your expertise and for your time. And for those of you out here who attended, please give us a call, send us an email with anything else more that we can do to help. Stay safe. Have a great rest of your day and week. And we look forward to seeing you start classes with us here in a few weeks. Take care, everybody.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye, guys.